Hi there, guys, and welcome back to Once Upon a Time in Blackpool Season 2. And I'm your host, the one and only Tom Smith. It feels like it has been absolutely forever since we've been here, and I'm absolutely chomping at the bit to getting into the Championship action after a hellish, amazing 103-point season in League One last year, where we ran away with the Championship. As you can see on screen, our first game of the season is literally tomorrow. We have got Sheffield United at home to kick off the season. One of the favourites having come down from the Premiership. What a way to start our Championship campaign here on FM303 for Blackpool. It is going to be something special. I'm so excited. What a summer we've had. We've had 11 players come in. I'm going to take you all through that in a bit. That's really, really exciting news. We've had a few players out as well, some for big money as well, surprising big money. So that'll be something to look forward to talking about. We've got some new and improved contracts to talk about. We mentioned it at the end of the last series, how some of the players wanted to improve their deals. They had a great season, and I do believe as a manager that if the players perform to the level I expect of them, they deserve to earn the money. Come on, they deserve a pay rise. You know, it's like any line of work, isn't it, really? And also we've got loads of news to catch up with over the summer, including new ownership here at Bloomfield Road. Fantastic stuff, exciting stuff looking forward. I don't know what we can do this year. We really could do anything. The excitement of what we did last year, I mean, we ran away with it. We were comfortably League One champions. I don't know what we can do this year. With that confidence carrying forward into the Championship, we're going to keep with the same system for the Sheffield United game, just to give you a little hint of what's to come. And then we're going to see how that progresses. We've got a secondary system as well, I'll take you through shortly. Like I said, lots of changes this summer and lots of things to catch you up with. So we're back in Blackpool. Anyway, let's take you first of all through the news. Right, first of all, to mix things up a bit, let's take you to a certain day in particular. That was Thursday, the 25th of July this year. Curtis Tilt, when we talked about players that we were signed to new deals, he was one of the players alongside Mark Boller and Turton and Spearing. He was the one who we fell out with slightly, and we were looking unlikely to be able to sign to a new deal. But luckily for us, I managed to wait that bit longer, managed to sign him down to a new contract, as you can see on screen, to Friday the 30th of June 2023, a 4-year deal on £5,000 a week. I think that's really great value. That takes him to he's 32 years old. That takes him possibly towards the end of his career. He's got the top division promotion wage rise of 50%. I always offer that, no matter what managerial position I'm in. I like to offer the incentives and the bonuses to the performance, because I think if you can save that in the core wage and then build that up in your appearances, your loyalties and all that stuff, your clean sheets as well, really try and, you know, life is life. You want to try and motivate players in a balanced manner by passion and also by finance, because if you want to be a top footballer, you want to earn money. You want enough money to feed for your family ultimately, don't you? So that's the way I look at it, and that's why we signed down Curtis Tilt on that deal. I'll also quickly take you through the other guys we signed up, and that is Mark Boller. So we'll go to Mark Boller quickly. I'm not sure if he comes up if I search for him. Oh my god, here we go. Mark Boller. Mark Boller, we've signed up on a new contract here until 2023. It is for £7,500 a week. And if you remember last season, he was on 1,200. So it is a massive, massive increase. But as we know from his profile here, he has been our first team left back all last season, and his potential ability is unbelievable. He could be a top left back in the Premier League, and this is what we were saying when we were starting League One last year. We really want to try and keep hold of these core young players we can build around, and he's really come on. Not a lot of ups over the pre-season, as you can see, but last season he really performed above these stats. 21 years old, still got a lot of time for growth, a lot of experience. Really happy to keep going with him as our first choice left back. Moving on now, we got Mark Boller in. We're also going to look at Jay Spearing now quickly, if I can spare his name. The reason I'm typing him in, I don't want to give away too many details on who else we signed, so we get towards later on in the video, obviously, a bit of clickbait perhaps. 6.5 a week, yeah, that is a lot of money obviously for a 3-year deal. It takes him until he's 33 years old, as you can see here. But I decided, because of his position in the club, in this hierarchical state, in the hierarchy and the dynamics, he is right at the top here. As you can probably see, Jay Spearing, yeah, right at the top with Turton and Tilt, so that's why we had to go for that here. But anyway, if I quickly get back here, Spearing. Yeah, so Jay Spearing, like I said, he's going to be a very, very key player for us going forward. He is our captain as well, and he is someone who's going to be a rotational option perhaps going forward. Ben, we made some changes this summer, like we're going to shortly. But anyway, another good player to get down to us. We're going to look at Turton here as well. Oliver Turton. This was a good one for us. Only 2,000 a week because he is possibly going to be a backup player going forward. We'll explain more on that in a moment as well. But it's good to get him tied down. This is a longer deal. 5 years. Takes him to his 31. Like I said, this is decent money as well. 2,000 a week. We're being very, very clever here, looking at the stats and balancing out the money and the wage budget. Because as you know, we didn't have a lot of money when we started this save, but we are pushing forward now. This is what we wanted to do, and we're looking really, really good here. Going back to the news here and on this day, as you can see, Curtis Till's happy with his new contract, but also Wigan Athletic made a massive bid, over £1 million actually, after this 1.1 million, for Sully Kaikai. And bearing in mind, I did an awful job pronouncing his name last season, and bearing in mind how we were looking with our transfers, which we'll get to in a moment as well, I decided to sell him. I decided to go for it. This was our big sale this summer, 1.1 million, 900,000 up front. Financially, if we quickly go to the finances, as you can see, it's kept us in the black. So for me, it was well worth doing for us. We go back to the news here. One last thing of interest. Leleko is slightly upset with us because we have signed a new attacking mid. You can see his name if you look to the right of the screen. We'll get to that shortly. Right, as we quickly come back here, you might be wondering why we're looking at a Portuguese midfielder at Fylde, but he's on loan from us. This is one of the signings which I thought I might accidentally forget about because we've immediately signed him on a free transfer and sent him out on loan to the lower leagues. He's on a contract for £250 a week for a year. But if you look at it here, he comes from Portugal again. We got offered him by his agent, and I had a look at him, and I thought, look at these stats for an 18-year-old. A lot of potential, actually. Jumping reach is good as well. He's quite tall, which I quite like for a defensive mid, because he's going to be able to win those balls in the air and distribute quite well with his passing. So, interesting stuff. We'll send him out on loan to the lower leagues. If it's a sort of signing where I wonder if he could be the player of the year in the conference. And if he does that, he could come back next year, depending on where we are, hopefully at least in the championship. He could be a good signing for us. Free transfer, 18 years old. Like I said, we're going to have a bit of a mix this summer, as you'll see in a moment. I like to balance out the homegrown talent, the loans, and also these foreign little gems we can find along the way if we look a little bit more cleverly around the window. So anyway, moving on to more news. One other late bit of new contract news was Jordan Thompson. We decided to offer him a new deal just based on the fact that he had a year left, not because he wanted more money. He was quite comfortable. He's now signed a rotation deal of £4,000 a week until 2022, a 3-year deal for a 22-year-old. He had a great season last year. He's a very, very utility. Very utility. Once again, guys, my English is absolutely disgusting. But anyway, this is what FM303 brings to you, a little bit of spontaneity. It's a bit like Murray Walker. Anyway, as you can see, he could play a lot of different positions. Interestingly enough, he's become a very good Mazzala over the summer in an attacking position. So I'd like to see what we can do with that going forward. His aggression really interests me for what I want, because I like players with that desire. I think that's incredibly important to have that bite in your team. Like I say, that little bit of nasty now and again to call on, like the Jamie Vardy's. That's why I'm such a Vardy fan. And also, Jordan Thompson can play on the left as a winger, and he's done that very well. He was like our impact sub last year in League One. So I think the contractual situation to offer him a new one for £4,000 a week is a fantastic bit of business for us once again to tie down a very key talent, and I'm really intrigued to see how he gets on in the Championship this year. He might be an outside bet to push into the first team. Right, and just before we take you into who we signed this summer, we'll quickly show you another good bit of business we've done. You might be able to see on screen Frederik Nielsen, a name that looks familiar. He now plays for NAC Breda. We sold him. He was ours on a free transfer. We loaned him out to Randers last year, where he obviously didn't play at all because that's Football Manager. Anyway, we got an offer of £750,000 from NAC Breda for a guy on a free transfer. I mean, I like this guy. I thought, do you know what, long term, I want to try and get him in. His acceleration, I'd like to be a bit higher. I could have worked on that in training perhaps. But I like the idea of this guy coming in and being our more static centre-half option on the long term. For a free transfer, a lot of potential. But when you get £750,000 offered to you for him, I mean, you got to take it, right? When you've had Kai go for 1.1 million and this guy for 750,000, you then look at things and go, that is a good bit of progressional sales. Bear in mind, we're bringing in other players, and that's where we're going to go next. Yes, we're going to start with our goalkeeper. We've got him back. on a loan to the end of the season. Jack Anik rejoins us from Rangers, everyone. It's nice when you can bring in a player to give him another season at a higher level. As you can see, his stats are still absolutely brilliant for this level. 26 years old. We're paying 2.1 a week. He's on 2.7, so we're paying the majority of it. And if I remember correctly, he's out of contract at Rangers this summer. That is the reason I got him back on a loan. I could have gone elsewhere. There's plenty of decent keepers at the end of the first season available on free transfers. But I thought, you know what? He's an important player for us. He fit in well with the mentality of the team last year. You can't argue. I think it was something like 31 goals, conceded 39. It was under a goal a game we conceded last year in League One. We've got to give him a go in the Championship. So our first signing of the summer, back on loan to the end of the season, Jack Anik. Welcome back to Blackpool. Our second signing of the summer is a loan to the end of the season. We've gone back to Leicester, my favourite team obviously. Darnell Johnson will be our backup right back this year. Great potential ability. I like his physicals, his acceleration, his jumping reach and his balance. His heading's great as well. And his crossing and dribbling dribbling's awful. Crossing and corners and all that aren't too bad, which makes me think he can get down that flank and give that support. He is a backup option, he knows that. Costing us nothing though. What else can you argue really? And we'll look again in the summer. We did look at free transfers, as you can imagine, and maybe trying to buy someone. But bearing in mind we got Turton in, and I quite like him. He's a bit of a unconventional right back for this level. We're going to give him a go and see how he gets on. I like to put a bit of faith in my players. But welcome Darnell Johnson. The Leicester City loan for Kaputska last year worked quite well. Let's hope Darnell can pick up the slack this year. Our third signing of the summer is a permanent one on a free transfer, and we've gone to the idea that the game had at the start, which was bring in these young players who were released from the clubs like the Arsenals and the Liverpools, the players like the Virtues and the Bollers. We went for Nathan Phillips, who was available on a free transfer from Liverpool. As you can see from his profile here, he's actually a backup player rated. Potential ability is better than what he was originally scouted at, which is good. He's probably only really a League One player, but I decided to bring him in as a backup option, $2,000 a week on a 5-year deal. So yeah, in the Championship I think he can do a job. We'll see if we can get him in and get him some more game time as well and try and push him on. He's still got a little bit of growth available to him. Homegrown option as well. Nathan Phillips, welcome to Blackpool. If you can't have Vincent, you might as well go for Francois. Welcome Francois Company to Blackpool. Another backup signing for us on a free transfer, 1.8 a week, £1,800. Only on a 2-year deal this time. I must confess, I did fan for this signing, to be completely frank. But we'll give him a little run out now and again and see how he gets on. I love his surname, who doesn't? And maybe he can score a couple like his, relatives. Marking and passing aren't that great. 11 and 11, tackling 10. I thought his tackling was 14. I misread that at the time. Surprising, really. But anyway, welcome Francois. A couple of years on his contract. He's really not going to get much of a look in, but there's a romantic link to his name, so we'll see what happens. Our fifth signing of the summer, and another permanent one, a free transfer again, is Rue Nurse. He has come in, if I remember correctly, from Red Star FC in France. He didn't play much last year. The thing I liked about him was his tackling, 16. It really stands out amongst the rest. The rest of it's pretty average. He's a backup left back, obviously, to Bolo. We signed on a massive 7.5k deal versus a 2k here. It's a 3-year contract. I think he'll do us a nice backup option, and he might even push. You never know. Our sixth signing of the summer was Bradley Misaki, and we've loaned him out to Tranmere straight away. We talked about this at the time. I went for 2 left backs in January on free transfers just to get them in, just for a bit of security. And in hindsight, I didn't need him. So yeah, I've loaned him out. He's on £1,000 a week. They're going to pay the wages. Interestingly enough, while he's a surplus to requirements, he's not obviously far from Rue Nurse. If he has a great season for Tranmere, who knows, So I'm not completely defeated about this yet. But anyway, welcome and goodbye, Bradley Misaki. See you in a bit, mate. Yes, now we head up top. Our new sign of striking, we've talked about it before, you knew it was coming. It is Callum Henry, going from Kilmarnock, I believe. Sorry, no, St Johnston, sorry. Anyway, same colour shirts, wasn't it? 21 years old. Actually, looking in hindsight, at League One level, he'd be very, very acceptable. In the Championship, perhaps not so great, but he is going to be the third choice backup. I'm happy to go with Alfonso for the minute. And we've also, got a couple of little tweaks we can do here and there. So I'm not too worried yet. I'm happy to give Callum a go. I've quite got a gut feeling about him that he might be better than what this £800 a week states. So, I like a bit of value in my players. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. He's a pressing forward and a target man as well. I do need a target man after we sold Arnold Nanduant last season. So it's good to get one in on a free transfer. Once again, utilising our money well. And as you saw earlier in the video, we've still got 800,000 in the black for the club, which is very important. Bear in mind, I want to really build the club finance and security as part of my managerial position here at the club. Anyway, moving forward now, we've got some familiar faces returning. And how many of them? 1, 2, 3, and 4. We had this against Lincoln when we lost. They came out and got no one. Kane over chance now. Herbie Kane, my man, wonderful. 1-1 straight away. Yes, let's start with this little legend. Welcome back. We did say goodbye at the end of the last series. Because when, of course, at that time of the game you're in League One, we tried to re-offer for them. But, of course, the clubs felt we were still in League One. As soon as we're back in the Championship, we make an offer again. We're not going to pay his wages, but, we're going to play him, right? So, welcome back, Herbie Kane. I can't wait to see what he's going to do in the Championship this year. I really want to see if we can have that rebound effect from League One and really push on with this guy. Oh, you guys are excited as I am. I can feel it in the air. Herbie Kane, look at his important player and he can still improve. His stats are unbelievable. I just wish we could somehow keep him full time. If we could pull off the impossible against the Premier League, I'd bring him back again. He's that good. I'm so excited to have Herbie Kane back at the club. And let's talk about the other three who are coming back. It's so exciting. Alfonso, he might have been offside, he wasn't. Kaike with the ball across here, Kent on the volley. Ryan Kent comes off the bench and scores the goal. Yes, Ryan Kent is back as well. That's why Kenji Gore, my God, suddenly Kaike going out on the sale rack as such. Because we got Kenji Gore as well. He really destroyed the end of the last season. Third goal of the season as well against Tranmere. Bringing in Ryan Kent, who is actually more of a left-sided player. But when he came on the right, he actually had his man-of-the-match performances. Got most assists as a kind of more inverted kind of player. So I'm more than happy. Once again, like Herbie Kane, what a player. If we get to the Premier League, perhaps we could even have him again. Like I said, try and get Premier League quality in League One. They've got the mental connection and the squad dynamic already. This is what we're looking to do. This is why I'm so excited about this. I really think we could do anything. Yes, Casey Palmer is back as well. Ironically, out of all of these 4 players we've brought back on loan, he was the one who featured the less in the end. He started well, and I thought, right, this is the guy that's really going to make the difference. But they ended up being Kaputska and Herbie Kane. They really pushed on. But Casey Palmer coming back, he's just so solid. Look at those stats. It's unbelievable stats for this level. Even if we bring him in as a rotation or fresh legs. That's like I say, we've got so many games this year to consider. You've got to play like Saturday and Tuesday, Saturday and Wednesday quite a lot. You need legs, you need options. That's what got us through last season. Casey Palmer, welcome back to Blackpool. So Kaputska, he equalises. See, I said it. That's why we went for these quality loan players early doors to try and get them. Fourth and finally, number 4, Bartosz Kaputska. I absolutely love this man. That moment against Bolton Wanderers at home last season will live with me forever as my time as a man playing Football Manager. It was utterly brilliant. I cannot believe we got him back again. Absolutely wonderful. Once again, all 4 of these guys, we're paying nothing for them, which makes me absolutely delighted. I just really now can't wait to get to Sheffield United. We'll quickly take you through one last big money signing, because we did make one big signing. We don't normally spend a lot of money, and actually we did. Every time we have a transfer window, we seem to increase it a bit, right? So we had like the 10,000 deal for Leko, and we moved that one up, and we had the Prochenko deal before that, which was like 100,000. We've now gone up to the £250,000 signing level. And I'll say this, it's upset the Leko slightly. He's got a lot of potential, Leko, but as you saw from the goal he got, there's something a bit awkward and a bit uneven about him. He reminds me a bit of Jeffrey Schlupp almost, the ex-Leicester winger who now plays for Crystal Palace. So yeah, interesting stuff. I'll show you who he is. I believe he could be the next Michu, if you remember what he was like for Swansea. Yes, our big money signing of the summer, £250,000. Actually, I believe it might be 300,000. I might be underselling myself. Yes, 300,000. Deportivo La Coruña sold him to us. And look at this guy. He is beat you. Rhymes with meet you. Hopefully he could be just as good as that Swansea lad was in his first season in the Championship. 23 years old, a lot of potential, 6,000 a week on a 4-year deal. I loved his flair, look at that. 16, his composure at this level will be very important as well. His dribbling, his first touch, his passing, technique, all where we want him to be. Still got potential for growth. He'll play in the hole. You think we got Kaputska, Palmer, Bichu, the Lecco. We are really stocked up in that position. I'm so excited. We might win the league this year. We really, really might. Anyway, taking you through the whole transfers now. We've still got some other bits on, which I'm not going to show you just yet. One more thing. We'll quickly get this all in order here. I'm going to quickly go back to the outs. Yeah, I say Kai and Nielsen are two main outs. Michael Nottingham also departed. You see the Coventry for 50,000. Decent money, really, for a guy who wasn't getting much of a look in. Darnell Johnson, obviously coming in on loan, will cover that absolutely fine with a lot more potential and a lot more age on his side. Ryan Edwards has gone out to Salford City for 45,000. When we started the game, we took a look at him. The thing I didn't like is his lack of acceleration and pace. He'll do a job for them down at that level. 54 scout summary now. I mean, he's not going to be good enough for the Championship. So I think a good decision there for us to get what we could for him and move him on. Mafumbi's gone to Bury. That was decided literally in episode 2 last season, but it's finally gone through. Would you believe it? Ben Tollett to Bolton Wanderers on £10,000. Yeah, I mean, once again, not going to be good enough for this level. Good to get him off for a bit of money, really. Anyway, moving that one on. We also managed to loan out a few players. Brendan O'Brien's gone out on loan because we have got the goalkeeping option to be our homegrown talent to cover that for this season. Ebbsfleet have taken Nana Ricardo. Rowan Roach has gone to York City as well. Nick Anderton, of course, has gone to Bolton Wanderers on loan. Like we said, we brought in 2 left-backs on free transfers and re-signed Boller on a longer-term deal. I couldn't find a place for Nick Anderton, which is a shame because he was alright, and he probably deserved a goal last season, which he didn't get. But more importantly, we got him out to loan to Bolton. They're paying his wages to the end of the season. We tried to sell him. Couldn't quite get any money for him. We got offers of 0. I wanted to get some. I think after a season at Bolton, we can get some money for him. So anyway, good to get him out on loan to the end of the season. Yusufu Ceesay's gone out to Ebbsfleet as well. This is a guy who's really surplus to requirements. We tried to get rid of since day one, and we've not been able to. I tried to offer him out for 0. Couldn't get rid of him. Tried to do everything. But anyway, he's out of contract at the end of the season. He's on loan to Ebbsfleet. I think that'll be the end of the lap. So yeah, as you can see, we've had a very, very, very productive time, and I'm really excited. We spent 300,000 just on the one sign, which was Beachy. The rest was all free transfers and loans. We've made 1.8 million this summer. What else can you ask for? I think we've done some fantastic business as we go into the Championship campaign now. I'm really excited what we got, to do here. And also, don't forget, Ryan Hardy and players like that really came on into the last season. Jamie Devitt played really well. They kind of play above their stats, Wari Suarez came in. It is really something to be excited about as we head to Sheffield United in our first game of the season. We won 4-1 against a favourite last season in Portsmouth. So maybe we can do the same this season. Who knows? It's going to be really exciting to see. Just to quickly take you back through the tactics, we're going to keep with our main tactic. Obviously, it did so well last year, 103 points. I'm just so intrigued to see how we can utilise this in the Championship and push on with it. Can we push on and keep performing at the level we were? The deep line playmaker in the box-to-box with Herbie Kane and Matthew Virtue. We've just got quality for all these roles. I just really want to see how we can utilise this in the Championship. I'm really kind of confident, and I'm going to eat my words because when I talk about myself in a positive manner, it normally bites me in the ass. I think we can really surprise some teams this year. Now, Sheffield United game I'm chomping at the bit for. We've also worked, of course, on the backup tactic now, just in case, because I still want to have a little bit of a conservative nature in case my arrogance gets the better of me. So we've got 2 ball-playing defenders in the 5-3-1-1, a bit more of a holding possession kind of game. In games, we want to kind of stifle it against quality teams where they've got players that can cause damage. So hopefully, it won't be too many times I have to pull this out of the bag. It's still quite an intense formation, which I quite like. We've got the fitness, we've got the squad numbers to be able to play more intensely. So I think this will do us really well for the upcoming season. Just moving on to one more thing before we get to the end of the episode, and then we'll go to Sheffield United, obviously, for episode 2. Just going to take you to the schedule here now. As you can see, we've got Sheffield United up first, followed by Millwall. But we're just going to do Sheffield United in the next episode. We'll worry about where we go from there after that. Interesting enough, we got Stoke City away then as well, and Fulham very close after that. 2 really top teams we're going to have to worry about as well because they've got a lot of quality. But when you look through the Championship fixtures, generally they're all going to be hard work this season. A lot of teams with a lot of potential quality. So it's going to be an exciting campaign. I'm really, really, really intrigued to see what happens in this one. I'm going to pick the team and then we're going to go to the match. Thank you very much for watching the welcome back to Once Upon a Time in Blackpool. We've caught you all up for how we're doing as we head to our team report and our squad depth to finish off. As you can see, there is so many stars around. That is the wrong formation. Wonderful. Back to the right one. I got to edit it. It all went wrong, didn't it? Nathan Delfonso will still do a good job up here, I think. And Hardy last season really came on. Ironically, if I was to make a ballsy prediction now, I think Ryan Hardy might push Delfonso this year for the main striker position. It kind of feels to me like a shift in divisions might shift the striking option a bit. So that's going to be interesting. Casey Palmer obviously beat you in the Lecco. We're going to look at beat you quite a lot here. Casey Palmer obviously is rated higher, and so is Kaputska, who plays really well on the whole. But I really think beat you going forward with his stats could be our Michu, as we said before. That's going to get a bit tiresome soon, isn't it? But anyway, go back to the midfield here. Kane and Ryan spearing. And obviously we've got Kenji Gore, Kaputska, Kent. We've got so many options here we can play with. And then we go to the back. Defensively at centre-half, we've definitely got cover now. Last season I wondered if we had a few injuries, if we'd have enough to make it through. I think we definitely do now with Phillips coming in. I haven't even mentioned about Cas Faber, of course, who's still around. And still decent, really, you know. Look at that potential. This is the thing. They're still so young and the potential ability is still so great. We've got so many options. So I like to set the challenge to my players. Look, you'll get an opportunity in a game. If you show me what you do in that game, like Cas Faber example there, in a League Cup game, then he can push on, push that first team position and put someone like Wari Suarez or Prochenko under pressure, because there's positions up for grabs depending on, you know, how far we can go. But anyway, thank you very much for watching Once Upon a Time in Blackpool. Welcome back to Season 2. We're going to see you next time for Sheffield United. How is this going to unfold? Oh yeah, and if you were paying attention in the episode, you might have seen, while we've signed Beachu for 300,000, I've actually got an offer in which is going to blow that out of the water. It will be the 12th man, the 12th signing of the summer. And when you look at our team, if we can get one more player in, I think that can make the difference between us being a competitive team and a potential Premier League side next season. So yeah, next time I'm going to introduce you to that 12th man, and I think it's going to be a difference maker. And of course we're going to take on the Blades of Sheffield United once again. Welcome back to FM303 in Blackpool. Let's see what we can do. Please like, subscribe and comment. Please spread the word, and please come back for the next episode because I'm so excited. See you next time. Goodbye.